Uno, dos, tres, catorce.
This is a place.
This is a place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Welcome to This Is a Place podcast. My name is Nate, and with me is a guy I can't do this podcast with or without, Brandon. How's it going, Brandon?
It's going pretty well. How about you?
Just still living the quarantine dream, but it looks like we can come out of our cages pretty soon here.
It's looking that way as we move into yellow.
What are we talking about today?
What we're talking about today is, well, if you remember, back in September of 2014, we were all forced by Apple to listen to U2. And just like back then, we are now forced to look at a U2 set piece anytime we drive on I-15 near Draper. That's right, folks. We're talking about The Claw.
The Claw.
It's hard to find reviews for it. I did find a couple, but why don't we get a take from some local Draper people?
Let's do it.
Got anyone we can call?
Yeah, so my sister and her family live over in Draper, and she's got some kids. She has 10 kids.
Just 10 kids?
She has 10 kids. So I'm sure if we call over to their place right now, we could talk to a couple of them and see what they think about the Claw being in their backyard. So
Okay.
let's see if we can get anybody answers.
Hello?
Hey, Caleb, right?
Hey, yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. What about you?
Just living the dream. Got Brandon on the line with me, and we're recording for our podcast right now.
Oh, cool.
And, but told Brandon that you guys live over there in Draper and wanted to know if you guys have heard about the Claw living in your backyard.
Yeah, I've heard a thing or two about it.
One or two things about it. What have you heard about it?
First of all, I've heard that it's kind of tearing apart the world right now because nothing good has really happened since it's been there. I've also heard that people like to sneak in there, and if you do that, you earn your man card.
So, do you have your man card, Caleb?
Not yet.
What do you mean by sneaking in there?
So I guess the thing to do is just get in there and climb it.
And then what happens if you get caught?
That's never good.
So, do you know anybody personally that's climbed it? You don't have to name names, but...
Yeah, no, I don't know anybody that's climbed it. That is definitely something my friends would do, though. So, but I work with someone who used to work there, and she said that people climb it all the time, but the police have really locked down on it now. So, hopefully, we don't end up doing that.
Yeah,
We're gonna go ahead and advise against that.
Yeah,
anyone who's listening, and to you, Caleb, do not climb the Claw. Nothing good is going to come from it.
It's not worth it.
You can get your man card elsewhere.
Yes, there's other things you can do to get your man card. Well, speaking of podcast, I heard you and your brother are starting your podcast or have started one. Is that rumor true?
Yeah, it's pretty true. He can tell you a little bit about it. So basically, podcast, we'll go and we'll call people and be like, ask them what we should talk about, and then they'll give us the subject, and then we'll just talk about the subject that they give us. And then once this quarantine stuff gets over, we'll go and ask people in stores what we should talk about. So then random people are giving us our topic every episode. So it's all fresh.
But what if someone gives you the same topic the next time you do it?
We edit.
You kick them off the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So are you going to have a conversation with that individual about the topic, or do you just ask them what topic you two want to talk about?
So right now we're just asking them what we want to talk about, but in the future, if it's someone we feel good about and that they can make some entertaining stuff, then we'll continue a conversation.
How often are you guys going to post your podcast?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Wow.
And what's the name of the podcast?
You tell me.
Well, we don't know what it's called, so you tell us.
Well,
Yeah. You tell me. That's the name of the podcast.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
Little bit confusing.
Yeah.
well, have you guys listened to our podcast at all?
Oh, every episode.
Every single episode. Huge fans.
Yes. Thank you.
What's your favorite episode so far?
Definitely the swig one.
Yeah, lots of dad jokes at the beginning. Those really got me cracking up.
So, did you guys know where the claw came from or what it was?
Yeah. So I heard it was a U2 sort of thing, and if we're getting down to the specifics, I heard it came from Colorado on a truck.
It didn't just automatically appear overnight on a spaceship.
People have their different opinions.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, unless you were like out of town, then you could think that, but no, it came on a truck.
So, living in Draper with your friends at school and whatnot, does anybody ever talk about the claw?
Well, it depends if Stranger Things is in season or not, but most of the time,
Ooh.
most of the time since it's at the aquarium, it's not a hot topic among us high schoolers.
Nobody cares.
You guys aren't going to the aquarium every weekend?
Not every weekend.
Every other.
Every other weekend.
Yeah.
Does it just become like the backdrop in the city now? Like nobody cares anymore that it's there, or when you drive by, do you like go, ooh, cool?
Most of the time, I wouldn't say people care that much, but when things like the coronavirus hit, they're like, "Oh, the mind flayer. That's why it's here."
Well,
That's
another
awesome.
question for you. You guys are high school age, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
You believe so? You believe you're still going to high school? Well, even though the quarantine thing's going on. Do you guys even know who U2 is?
Oh,
Yeah, we know who U2 is.
Okay. Do you know who the lead singer is?
Definitely do not.
Okay.
listen
So
to
if
the
I-
music. Enjoy it.
So if I asked you, why did Bono fall off the stage?
Then I would be confused, and I probably won't laugh at the joke.
Okay, here's the joke. You ready?
Yeah.
Why did Bono fall off the stage?
Why?
He was too close to the edge.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Let me explain it to you. Bono's the lead singer, and the guitar player's named The Edge. What kind of lawyers praise U2?
I have no idea.
Lawyers that are pro bono.
I'm sure someone's laughing somewhere.
I'm laughing. I think that's funny.
Are you guys going to go check out the claw when it's finished and ready to go, or do you have no desire?
I'll probably go check it out. I was looking at some pictures of it today, and it actually looks pretty dope what they're going to try to do with it.
Yeah. Supposedly, they're going to open up around Memorial Day, so just in a couple weeks. So we'll see if they meet that deadline. Well, Brandon, do you have any other questions for our Draper insiders?
No, I don't. Thanks for being on our episode today, guys. And to everyone else listening, give their podcast a listen. You Tell Me is what it's called on all major podcast platforms.
Yep.
And I guess that's a wrap for us.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for taking the call.
No, thank you. It was a
All right,
blast.
guys.
All right, guys, go to bed.
It's a school night. Go to bed.
I'm on my way, Dad.
All right. See you guys.
All right, cool. Glad we could have him on the episode today. Get a review from some in Draper people, right?
Some fans of the show and kids who live in Draper.
Yeah. Well, I do have. There's not an official place to go review the claw. People can go and review the Loveland Aquarium. So I searched for any reviews related to the claw. On this podcast, we're not going to talk about the aquarium at all. We'll save that for a future episode when we just talk about the aquarium in general. So since this is a claw episode, I have a couple to read from there. So we've got Braden saying how much they love the aquarium. To say that U2 giant claw thing is an eyesore would be a massive, massive understatement. It's horrendous.
I wouldn't say it's an eyesore. I think it's different, and I think that's good. I think that's
It's
what
an eye
they're trying to
catcher for
accomplish.
sure.
Yeah, I think that's what the aquarium's trying to accomplish, is grab people's attention.
We're talking about it. We're devoting a whole episode to it, so they've done at least part of their goal.
Yeah.
This other one says kind of a mediocre review, but goes on to say they're doing lots of constructions in front of. I guess we are getting the U2 1998 concert claw. Not sure why the connection is with an aquarium, other than Utah's home to the West Valley claw hairdo, and we will have a new claim to fame. Maybe Bono and the Edge will come when they have the grand opening, I hope.
So I don't think U2's coming.
I doubt it.
I went over to the claw a couple days ago to see if we could even get how close I could get to the claw. Went up and it's all gated off, like they're working on. It's like a construction site, so it's all gated off. But some construction worker like saw me at the gate and came walking over, and I wasn't sure like what was going on. But he started up a conversation with me about the claw, and we made our U2 jokes and stuff like that. And I said, so do you think U2 is going to come and dedicate it? And he says, my understanding is that they signed a contract saying that they wouldn't bother U2 if they bought this thing. So yeah, I don't think.
But we didn't sign the contract.
We
doesn't
didn't,
mean
so
we can't reach out to U2.
Maybe we can start our own little
change.org.
Yeah, a little petition to get U2 to come and dedicate it. But another interesting fact is that he also said, I asked him how soon they think they're going to open the claw, and he thinks that'll be done around Memorial Day. So I thought that was interesting. I didn't think they'd be ready that soon. So we'll see if that comes to be true. But
yeah, I guess we'll see. That's this weekend, actually. So
there you go. Yeah, they look like they were pretty close. I don't know. They would have still a lot of work to do, in my opinion, if it's going to look like the pictures. But I guess they could have kind of a soft opening, at least open up the gates, let people walk around. But the moral of the story is that don't plan on seeing U2 do a concert there anytime soon.
Right.
So do you have one more review?
I do. In going through it, every time someone mentions the claw, the aquarium has a pretty calculated response, talking about how it's not, they don't want it to be called the claw, they want it to be called the EECO, which is the Ecosystem Exploration Craft Observatory. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that just flows off the tongue. I'm sure everybody will.
How dare anyone refer to it as the claw?
That's awesome.
But why don't we jump right into our discussion on the claw and what interesting tidbits we found.
Who's in charge here?
The claw. The claw is our master. The claw chooses who will go and who will stay.
This is ludicrous.
Just so we're clear, we wonder who's in charge, who's the master of everything that's going on lately. It is the claw.
I would not argue, since it came in around October.
Mm-hmm. October 2019.
So they purchased it from U2, and ever since then, our lives have been a living hell.
So I went back and did a little bit of research on what has happened since the claw was put in. And I'm just going to give you everything that happened the week after it was installed. First off, Kanye West comes to Salt Lake City.
Okay, yeah, and did his little sermon, right?
Right, exactly. Some people may say that as a positive. Some may think it's a negative. Next, we have potato, onion, sweet corn farmers rush amid early freeze. This freeze came early, and this even going up to a little bit north of here in Idaho, these farmers were really struggling to get things prepared because of the early cold temperatures coming in.
That were unexpected.
Yeah, what they weren't expected. How did they happen? The claw.
So that's just 1 week.
I'm not even done yet.
Exactly. That's my point.
Late night carjacking, not random, West Valley police say. I didn't go in through and read the full story, but I'm thinking it wasn't random because it was linked directly to the claw.
No doubt.
Next, we have a Utah tech CEO goes missing in California.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
BYU loses third straight to USF. To USF. Who loses to them?
That makes perfect sense. It all makes sense now why we lost. Like, it was definitely like a shoe-in, right? It should have been a shoe-in.
Exactly.
They lose.
All these things directly, strong correlation between the claw.
Coincidence?
I think not.
think not.
But aside from that, talking about what bad things have happened since then, I mean, how long has it been since we've had an earthquake?
So I know we've had some small earthquakes throughout my lifespan, but I've never felt an earthquake before until 2 months ago.
Yeah, not one quite like that, right?
Oh yeah. Was it the second largest in Utah overall, or I want to say the last time was down in St. George that we had something that size.
Yeah. So I don't think that's a coincidence. Look at the Jazz and all the turmoil they're having lately. Fights between Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. People saying that they're going to have to split them up because of how bad it is.
The whole COVID thing, the whole quarantine and everything was the night that Rudy Gobert, a Utah Jazz player, tested positive for the coronavirus. And that's when everything started to shut down. So correlation to Utah, where the claw is located.
Exactly. Not that the coronavirus started in Utah, but the fact that it was Utah that shut down the whole NBA and really escalated things.
Yeah, that's like the shutdowns for the country really started on March 11th.
But in all seriousness, I don't think the claw seems like a terrible thing. It seems like it's an attention grabber. It's interesting to look at. They're trying to do some really cool things with it.
It looks a lot like the creature from Stranger Things.
The Mind Flayer, right? It does. It looks a lot like that. I also heard a lot of people comparing it to the lair for the bad guy in the James Bond movie The Spy Who Loved Me.
I can see that.
But let's just look at a little bit of the history of it. As already mentioned before, this was a creation for U2 for the 360 tour, which took place in between 2009 and 2011.
And for a long time, I don't know why, I thought it was part of their Pop Mart tour back in 97, but Pop Mart tour had a crazy stage as well, if I remember.
That seems to be the thing with U2 is crazy stages.
Yes. Well, did you know with the 360 tour that this isn't the only claw out there? There's 2 more claws.
I found that there was 4 in total, actually.
4? Oh, I read 3. So 4 would make more sense. Do you know why they had 4 stages?
From what I found, it took 10 days to set up.
10 days. So to keep it, so they could go from night to night performing, they had 4 different crews, right? That would have to go to the next location and start setting it up over a 10-day period. That's crazy.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. But it made them a lot of money.
So they added, with the claw, they were able to add 25% capacity to each concert, which led to this being the highest grossing concert at 7.2 million tickets sold. U2 seems to have a desire to always have more, which included them forcing their album on us in 2014 and these concerts being able to have more people, more capacity. This was a very expensive stage to set up. It was between 23 and 31 million alone. I don't know if it was the same structure since there were a couple of them, but the tour came through Utah at Rice Cycle Stadium on May 24th of 2011. So it's not the first time the claw has been in Utah. It is quite a structure to behold, though. I found between 165 feet and 151 feet tall. It's the largest stage ever toured before. On the Living Planet Aquarium website, they compared like how many penguins tall that would be. And it would be 60 Gentoo penguins tall if they were stacked on top of each other. This is a big, big thing.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go see it in person just to realize how big it really is. I mean, I even got a little bit of fear of heights from just looking at it. How tall it is. Imagine myself being all the way up there. So
not going to climb it.
So I'm not climbing it anytime soon. That's for sure. Well, it might be fun to bungee jump off, though.
Oh, hey, there you go. A cool thing, I mean, it was still expensive, and so what the aquarium's doing is currently a $33 million expansion, and they say that this was bought for around $2 million, so a lot cheaper than it was back in 2011.
So my question is, the aquarium, if they didn't purchase the claw, is there a market for somebody that would have bought the claw?
Are you looking to buy one?
I'm just saying, like, I just don't understand. To me, it's almost like they could have just donated it to the aquarium, because who's in the market to buy that thing? So I'm shocked that they had to pay that much for it, but maybe that's just the cost for what they could have scrapped the metal for, because it's so big. But
yeah, true. I mean, this has been in plans since what I found, at least 2014, them buying this. And U2 originally said they wanted one of these to be a permanent structure somewhere, a place for like some kind of a concert venue. But I don't know if this is exactly what they had in mind, which could go into them not wanting to be contacted about it, because maybe they've just moved on. They lost interest in it. And they're on to the next bigger and better thing.
Right.
They said it's going to be a really interactive experience, though. A lot of science and exploration learning associated with it. They're going to have VR, ecology-based ECCO missions associated. I have no idea how any of that's going to work or what it's going to look like, but in reading about it, it sounds pretty cool, and I'd be excited to check it out eventually.
Yeah, the pictures that they have of what it's going to look like, it looks pretty nice, and I just don't know if you're going to be able to go and explore around it without paying an admission, or if you're going to have to pay an admission to get close to the claw. That's
I'm sure you will.
So time will tell. We'll find out in a few weeks, most likely.
Yeah, hopefully so. Well, the only other thing I wanted to bring up is, now that we're installing these old concert stages all around, what else would we like to see installed in Utah? What other concert stages?
I have not been to a bunch of concerts that have had crazy stages, so
neither have I, and that's why I had to Google what cool ones are out there. You ready for my list?
I'm guessing U2 made it again, right?
They sure did. So they had a big TV tower in the U2 Zoo Tour, which kind of looks cool. I thought they could install it at the Galvin Center. You know how you can kind of watch the news there. They can install those TVs and have a bunch of stuff going on. That might be neat.
There you go. I like that.
How about the Roger Waters The Wall Tour?
Roger Waters?
Roger Waters from Pink Floyd.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So this concert stage had a big, huge wall. Really cool looking. I think that should just be installed on State Street, because I don't think there's enough of a divide between the East and the West. I think this can make it even more so.
Do you get pudding if you eat your meat?
It depends on which side of the wall you're on. There's the David Bowie had a concert, the Glass Spider Tour. Do you know where I'm thinking of putting that big glass spider?
on Spider Mitchell's front lawn.
Yeah, you guessed it. Anyway, lots of cool venues, lots of cool concert stages that we could install throughout our great state. We just need someone with the money to come in and buy them up, if they still exist.
Right. Just need to have someone who's going to buy something that nobody has any use for and spend millions of dollars for it. So, which makes me wonder, we haven't brought that up yet. Do you think it's because the owner or the CEO of the aquarium has a thing for U2, or just really thought it would be cool to have?
Did you read the same Reddit article that I did?
I did not.
There was some speculation on that said someone was saying comes off as some wealthy board members trying to add to their fan collection rather than anything of architectural value. Someone with a response said, "My significant other works at the aquarium, and that is literally what this is. The CEO is a huge U2 fan and decided to buy memorabilia with the aquarium's money."
So that's really what I thought when the claw came. And then there's always all these urban legends before the internet with U2, thinking, a lot of people from Utah thought there's a lot of ties to Utah with U2 songs.
Oh, yeah?
Like where the streets have no names because everything's 100 south, 200 south, you know what I mean? 34.
Oh, there you go.
Anyways, still haven't found what I'm looking for.
I did not come across any of that in my research, so I'm going to have to look into it.
The claw has brought a lot of crazy things to Utah, but at the same time, it's created a lot of interest.
It's really brought us together, is what it's done.
Maybe that's the ultimate goal. It's going to be the thing that brings Utah together and gets us through these times.
Well, let us know what your thoughts are on the claw. If you have any personal feelings about it. I had a friend take a picture at a gas station of someone had put a sticker on one of the barriers that said, "Don't trust the claw." Send us an email if you want to share your thoughts about the claw, but don't want the public to know about it. And let us know.
You don't want the curse of the claw.
You don't want the curse of the claw, exactly. All right, guys. Enjoy your Memorial Day, and we'll see you next time.
A claw! Nothing can stop the claw!